Neighborhood Resource Center in Fulton?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress. I mean, we've made good progress. We've got a website up. We've got the community contributing to it, largely because of the labor of love that people like John Murden and Vicki Maloney have put into it, and Nick Cousins and a few others. We really need to expand that base, though, and get the community to buy in and contribute. And so that's kind of where we are now. We've got this wonderful platform, thanks to the New Voices grant, and we now need to really spread the word about it and encourage people to participate.
Can you talk a little bit about the professional-amateur partnership here that's creating this kind of new kind of community journalism?
Sure. On our side, it's more like fledgling professionals working with amateurs, but we'd like to think that our students are on their way to becoming professionals. They can bring to the table skills that, of course, they've picked up in the School of Mass Communications, equipment and knowledge that an everyday person off the street probably doesn't have about communicating in a journalistic way. So the students can bring to the table that, and of course get out of this project professionally produced or items for their portfolio. So that's wonderful on their side. So we feel that we've kind of got, those are sort of that's the professional side of our contribution. And then on the sort of amateur side, using everyday people who have great stories to tell and often desire to tell them, but maybe not an opportunity to, or maybe not realizing that, hey, here's a place where I can let my neighbors know about my child winning this award, or a problem in the community that I think I've got, I want to kind of highlight and maybe start a discussion about about how we can solve this problem. And so I think that there's a big opportunity to bring together these two things.
What do you think that it is that they're creating? I mean, is it journalism? Could you talk a little bit about what it is that ends up being created? It's discussion, it's journalistic, it's a little bit of everything?
Right. Well, yes, it's a little bit of everything. And I think in today's world, that definition of journalism is really expanding. I know when I started out working on newspapers, journalism was very much like a lecture. I mean, we told you what the news was, and we didn't really listen to much to what readers had to say. We'd run letters to the editor from time to time, but we didn't really tap into the expertise that everyday readers might have concerning the story. And what we're seeing here is news is more of a conversation, and we might have a story that was done by perhaps a student, kind of the fledgling professional side of things, but that's not the end of that story. That story is the start of, we hope, a discussion in which people can add things to it, maybe question it, certainly discuss it, and take it to the next level. And so, in some ways, news has become, well, here it's news and it's information and it's discussion and it's contributions from the public. It's just a broader definition of news, and news here is not a final product, it is a continuing discussion.
Do you provide any training or hope to provide any training if you recruit some more of the neighbors to contribute?
Yes, in fact, one of the things that I was going to talk to Annette about before I leave today is resuming our Citizen Journalist Training Academy, a module of courses that we were doing about how to interview people, especially as a citizen journalist. How do you approach people who may not necessarily take you seriously? Some of it is sort of journalism 101, exactly what is a story, what are the 5 W's and the H that you should try and get into every story. So some of it's sort of that news sensibility stuff. Other skills are exactly how you go about writing a story. How do you weave in quotes and facts? How do you try to keep your opinions out of the story if that's the kind of journalism you want to do? If you have how you write something where you really do want to include your opinion, how you make it clear that this is your opinion, and what's the appropriate way to do that. So And we also had a class in photography and how to upload your pictures to the Greater Fulton News website. So now that kind of my fall classes have stabilized, I'm hoping to schedule those, maybe a couple classes this fall, maybe a couple more in the spring, to help citizens, to give them the tools to participate.
Thank you.
Great, you're welcome.